What are the benefits of amino acids? We may have heard of branched chain aminos. You may have heard of aminos, amino acids, master amino patterns, a lot of phrases out there. But I'm going to talk about the master amino pattern, which is basically the most popular amino bundle that is the most effective that they've been finding in many of these different studies. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the benefits of amino acids, specifically in the master amino pattern. So before we dive into the specific amino benefits, the first time I took the master amino pattern, I was actually working. I was leading after school program and I was getting ready to go climbing. And so before I went climbing, I took a bunch of aminos and I could feel the veins in my arms starting to pop out. And I was like, holy moly, I need to go climbing right now. I need to get going. And this I found to be an incredible pre-workout. It's also great for recovery. And I'm going to dive into those specific benefits. But I just want to say the first time I took these, it was very tangible. I could feel it in my body, in my veins, with how fast these things took effect. And before we get specifically into the benefits, I think it's important to note exactly what amino acids are. Now, amino acids are the building blocks of protein. So essentially, if we consume protein, whether that's, let's say, beef or chicken or eggs, whatever we're consuming, our body is breaking down that protein into amino acids. So these are basically a way to give your body the building blocks of protein so it can use it in a much more effective way. And so in the aminos that I'm specifically talking about, these are pre-digested proteins is really what it is your body's able to absorb these at a cellular level much more effectively without needing your digestive system to break it down. So some of the benefits of amino acids, like I mentioned, one is muscular endurance. It's a big one. Muscular strength is often common as well when used prior to a workout. So I'd say 30 minutes or so before a workout. The one I'm actually referring to right now, my favorite Super Amino 23s by Purium, and I will leave a link in the description box below. You can save $50 off your first order, which is basically $75 or more. And these cost $75. You basically get a bottle for only $25, which is a hell of a deal. So great for muscle endurance, great for recovery, like we mentioned. But they're also great for creating lean muscle. And the reason for that is these master amino patterns were actually created for patients in hospitals that were experiencing muscle wasting. They couldn't get up and move. So rather than letting their bodies atrophy, they actually created this and you're putting them in via IV at this point to help their bodies to maintain their muscle mass. And they quickly found that not only were they not losing muscle, they were also gaining lean muscle. And this was unheard of. And so the idea is that these are actually so absorbable. I think it's like a 96% utilization rate, 93. It's in the mid to high 90s in the utilization rate. So these are getting to your muscles very effectively. And the reason why they're called super amino 23s is because in the clinical study, they were shown to get to the bloodstream in just 23 minutes. So aminos are great for creating lean muscle. They're great for muscle endurance. They're also great for the digestive system because if you have any sort of digestive issues, your body doesn't have to go through that digestive process to break it down, like we mentioned. So this is a great way if you have any sort of gut dysfunction, or if you just want to give your body a break. These are one of my favorite tools to use when I'm fasting because my body can actually maintain a fast and also get that protein. So I'm in an anabolic fast. I'm actually still being able to build muscle. I can still move, have some energy, and not feel like I'm just wasting away when I'm fasting. So on that same token, it can actually help us to burn fat more effectively because we're not putting a burden on the digestive system. We're getting protein into our system that is creating lean muscle. If we're able to move with this process, with the process of having these aminos, it's going to help us to burn that fat more effectively. So this is great to use pre-workout, during a workout, after workout, or just in your everyday life. Now, a lot of people also mention that their skin elasticity improves. Their skin looks tighter, maybe not as droopy. And I'm not quite sure the science behind this. The other things I can nerd on the science, but this is just anecdotal evidence. This is just people sharing their stories when they start taking these master amino patterns. They start to notice their skin elasticity begins to improve. So that's a really interesting one. I need to do more research on myself, but I think it's really cool to recognize that these are the building blocks of protein. We think of our three macros. We think of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. These are the building blocks of 1/3 of the major fuel sources that we use for our body. Now, that being said, this isn't a video on macros, but many of us know the importance of protein and specifically being able to digest and absorb that protein because many of the proteins we consume, especially if we do have some sort of gut dysfunction, we could be eating the highest quality chicken, beef, eggs, almonds, whatever in the world, but if we're not actually able to break down and assimilate the protein into amino acids, we're just really have an expensive poop. So this is a great way to optimize your absorption of the essential amino acids. So I'm curious to hear, have you used amino acids before? Have you used branched chain amino acids? What type of amino acids have you used? Because I always find that when people switch from the branched chain amino acids, which there's a lot of research back and forth as to whether those are good or not, whether they're not good. No, the science is always changing. So I would just say, listen to your body. But at the end of the day, people that have used this master amino pattern, especially the Super Amino 23 by Purium, which I mentioned, I will put the link in the description box as well. You can use the discount code wholehealth, and that will save you $50 off your first order of $75 or more. Like I mentioned, these are exactly $75. You can basically get a bottle for $25, which is a really good deal. People notice a really big difference in their overall health. Like I mentioned, skin elasticity. I notice I recover at an incredibly faster speed. I'm not as sore the next day when I take the aminos. And then also, I like to take them when I'm fasted as well. Like I'm mentioning, I'm a big fan of intermittent fasting. Anytime I can give my digestive system a break and still get high quality fuel is a win for me. So thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, you found there's value in here, please do like and subscribe to the channel. I put out new videos every single week, a podcast every Monday, and a new YouTube video every Thursday, which all happens on the Whole Health Connections YouTube channel here. And if you enjoy this, you think a friend could benefit, please share this with them, because the more we can get this knowledge out there to share the word of health and wellness, the better off we're all going to be. So until then, check out some of the other videos I have on the channel, subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Thanks for watching.